myself and many other Jets have left quarantine. We did 2 weeks of quarantine before in Tokyo, at least my group did. And after that, we just pretty much departed from or left the hotel at different times of the day. I left the hotel at about 8 o'clock, which isn't too bad actually. But I do know that there were some people who had to leave really early. For example, Fukui people had to leave at 4:40 or something, which is oh my god, that's awful. I hope they're doing okay. But obviously people who I guess closer to the KO Plaza or had easy access to transport left at more manageable times. I have been keeping in touch with a number of people since leaving quarantine, which has been lovely. Made some really good friends during that time. I guess quarantine really does bring people together in a weird way where a platform was created and people really wanted to have that contact, and so they used Facebook, Discord, Instagram to reach out to people to see how people are going, or chat, whether it's by text or even phone calling, and so on and so forth. And it's been quite lovely, very, very lovely in that sense. And I've been able to keep in contact with a number of them since arriving at my placement. It has been 1 week. I didn't work, or I guess on the Monday it was basically just traveling about 80% of the time. Very, very tiring, and just trying to organize and just get to my apartment, register myself at the city hall. That's something that you have to do coming to Japan. And being that this is the second time for me doing this, it was actually quite, I guess, it was very familiar, but also very foreign because it has been a while. You only have to do it, once every so often, doing the registration, moving in, moving out of, the city that you're going to be living in. And we did that, and the next thing was, but there was enough. I also went to school when I got my luggage, which was sent earlier before I departed the hotel. Now, it was very smooth, and pretty much that was the end of the first day. The second day, I actually didn't go to school because of personal reasons. Not something that I want to talk about today, but I guess briefly, it is quite difficult if you are in quarantine to receive news about family members or whatnot that are going through hard times, or certain situations, because when you're in quarantine you can't go anywhere. When you're in quarantine you cannot leave, you're limited by what you're able to do and whatnot. And so it's actually quite frustrating. Again, not something that I want to talk about today, but I will talk about it another time when I am ready to talk about it. But I guess all I want to say is that the second day I was very lucky to have very understanding colleagues and a very lovely Kyoto sensei, which means vice principal, and she was able to give me the time off to deal with some personal matters. And Wednesday was a public holiday, which couldn't come any time better. It was a have that day to yourself, I actually hired a car and I went around and just drove around this area. And my city is actually it's not very hilly. It's kind of like a little bubble city by itself. It's got everything, which is fantastic. So I kind of used that opportunity to really get the idea of where things were, like how to get to school, how to move around, like where shops were, like the chemist, 100 yen shops, the grocery store, so on and so forth. It was fantastic. So that was the Wednesday. And hiring a car was fantastic. I only have a international license, and so if it's actually very easy to hire a car in Japan. It cost me about 5,500 yen, which is a little bit cheaper than what I used to pay in Saitama and Tokyo, which used to be about 7,000. I think there's a bit of a special going on, but that's basically the price that I'm paying at the moment. And then Thursday and Friday I had classes, and it really does. Being someone who has been on jet before, or someone who has been teaching before, it really does. You definitely remember the skills that you learned the first time, and there's a lot of the mannerisms, a lot of the etiquettes that you may have learnt in your first round on jet that will come back, and that's definitely happening for me. When working with the teachers, I am remembering to pause, remembering to take my time when trying to work with the students, trying to interact with the teachers, trying to talk and speak and present. So this time, I guess the first 2 days I spent 99% of the time just doing self-introductions, and this time it was luckily very smooth for me. I guess that's something that comes with experience, and also, practice makes perfect. And I think up until this moment I've done over probably over 50 times of self-introductions in general. Whether it's, for first year students, second year students, and third year students, and then repeating that for a couple of times over the year, it's a lot actually. And I did take a pause, between jet last time and this time, but having that knowledge, knowing what potential level of English that you're dealing with students, that's a very good indicator to tell yourself, don't overload your don't overload your slides with words. Talk to your students, use pictures, and also these students are still kids, which is a very important thing. And so my general approach, or maybe my personality, is I like to make it very interactive for the students, engaging for the students. If I have a picture, I would, ask them what it is to get them answering me, to get them talking, because it is a thing that students are they can be quite quiet in class. And getting them working in teams is fantastic, so I actually did that too. When I had more time with students, I actually got the students to work in teams, and it was a very lovely environment. They became very competitive, but it was very great to watch them do that. And at the end I gave them some prizes, and that was really good. Okay, so that was basically, my 2 days of classes, self-introduction, with some lessons of debating. It is still quite early days, and I won't talk about debating today, but I'll talk at another time, because teaching debate as an ALT and also debating in Japan is a completely different it is a completely different can of worms, and I don't want to talk about that today. It's just going to be, it's unrelated. So, but that's basically been the 2 days, and it's been, really, really good introduction. I'm really enjoying my time here, and a very different experience for sure. Because of the different school level, because of the different city, and also because of the different, different school has different dynamics, obviously, and also I'm a different person this time, and I guess I'm just taking it slow this time compared to my last time experience. Last time we had a few weeks of last time when we arrived, it was actually the end of July, August, and it was Obon, which is the equivalence of which is a period of time where families in Japan take time off to pay their respects to their past family members or whatnot. And people actually, go home, and the school was empty. The school was empty. Not many teachers were around, and I had a few weeks of quietness. That's a word. A few weeks of quiet, school halls and things like that. But this time it was so different. I went to school when the school term's already begun. And the teachers didn't have an ALT for 4 months, as opposed to last time where I actually met my predecessor and we crossed over 2 days. Having said that, it's quite, this time it's literally, dive in, but the JTEs have been, very accommodating, very understanding, and just, prior to this, I have been emailing them, and it obviously, as I said, really helps when you know what to expect, or what to not to expect, I guess, to kind of have that experience in your belt, so that you can call on that knowledge, and I really benefit from that. But talking to other folks who are new jets, they seem to have some time to relax or kind of just understand their schedule, which has been great. I haven't actually met anyone yet who has needed to just dive in and start from the deep end. So if I do, I'll talk about that sometime, but so far it's been steady, and yeah, I will definitely share more as the weeks come on, probably more like either weekly or fortnightly or whatnot, just to kind of give more content and share more content in terms of what's going on, how I'm traveling, what things am I identifying, and things like that. Because it is very different to quarantine, and this is just a week by week thing and whatnot. But I'll definitely be posting a bit more later on. So whoever's interested, or if anyone's got any questions about the JET program or doing JET the second time, feel free to post questions. Feel free to reach out. I would be more than happy to answer. I do intend to do a video just about the process from a person who's done it the second time. It is a bit of a different reflection. I've had to reflect on what I am, who I am now, and whatnot. But again, another time. And anyway, that's it for today. Everyone, I hope everyone's keeping safe. I've noticed that the news has been saying that the borders are open. I think Japan is opening their borders for traveling quite soon. So, everyone still keep safe, healthy, and safe travels if you're starting to travel. Bye.